We're 86. Hey, everybody. Hello, 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 hello.
We are getting old.
Are we?
We're 86 years old.
Now, Kevin went and pointed out something really important, and I'm just going to go ahead and fix it right now on screen, on stream, in front of the world. We're going to go into the starting soon screen, and we're going to put in this because the old version of it wasn't bolded. Oh, yuck. Who needs that? That's what we want. We want the soon to be bold. Those are the kind of problems that I deal with. Kevin, what are the kinds of problems that you deal with?
Missing Leaf Storm 3 times against the Kyogre and losing a game because of it.
That is a pretty Kevin problem, yes.
That's a Kevin problem.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I also deal with you being a little too loud, so I just bring you down. There you go.
Ah!
Oh, that helps. Yep. Peek your mic for me, please. Thank you. Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for my Wave XLR to pop in. Do you know, did you watch the beginning of Friday's stream?
Yes.
I was talking about it.
There was a dial that you wanted to buy. Yes. That was $150.
It's a big, expensive dial. But
now,
it's not
I'm hoping
just
that dial does more.
The dial does more, yeah. It's the software that comes with it that's the most important part. The interface itself, it's fine. It's a fine interface. It does exactly what you want it to do and nothing more, nothing less. But the software that it comes with that you can't use without it, smart move, Elgato. It lets you separate tracks. I don't know if you can record all those tracks separately, but you can separate your Discord audio from your desktop audio, from your Stream Deck audio, from your, this, that, and the other audio. So it's good.
That's important for streamers, guys.
It's very
in case you weren't aware. In case most people probably don't stream or haven't tried it yet. That's very important.
Yeah.
Specifically for when you want to stream. I've had this problem in the past where I want to stream. Because back in the good old days, you used to be able to just listen to your own music and not worry about copyright on Twitch.
Right.
And then if something cool happened and I wanted to re-upload it to YouTube, I just couldn't. And I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. It's lost forever.
Exactly. Kevin, can you do me a quick favor and just move down a little bit? Let's get a little bit of headroom in there. Or maybe, I guess, move your mic up a little. Your camera up a little bit. Tilt that bad boy.
Oh, you know why it's like that?
Why?
Because when I have my Zoom meetings for work and I get up like 5 minutes before they happen, I have bedhead. So I just go down so you don't see my hair.
That's the right thing to do. That is absolutely the right thing to do. Oh boy, lost you there. There we go. Oh, and then I straight up. There we go. That's what I want. I'm just, 86 episodes, haven't figured it out. It doesn't matter. I hope you guys are all doing well over in Chatland.
We had a video this week. You guys like that?
I know. Not only did we have a video, we had, 2 streams?
3, because I also streamed.
No. I counted yours.
Oh
shoot. Well, yeah, that's 2. True. I did 2.
Yeah, you had 2. Yeah.
Oh,
so 3 streams, 1 video. Stream today, video probably tomorrow. You guys,
video tomorrow, stream tomorrow.
Welcome back to Pokésports.
Welcome back to Pokésports. We are all up in there. Eventually, I might start selling these bad boys again. These little pins. Right now, they're just going to people of the league who win. And by the way, this being all packaged up, this is a little bit of a hint to the people who have won the league. Of course, I do send them out in batches. So this year's batch so far is coming up this month. So I'm going to be sending those out by the end. So everyone should be receiving their Pokésports pin soon. Yeah!
So proud of you guys. Knocking me out every time.
They do. They do that, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, if you saw the video. Okay, let's start the podcast. I'll talk about it on the podcast.
Okay, here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pokésports, a competitive Pokemon podcast. I'm Mike, and I play with one Pokemon on the field.
I'm Kevin. I play with 2 Pokemon.
Oh, wow.
Are you guys surprised when I say the right thing?
What's going on?
I'm playing Pokemon again.
Kevin, you play with 2 Pokemon on the field.
So here I am, playing with 2 on the field.
I'm proud of you. What has brought on this change? We all know what brought on this change.
Series 10 not being Series 9.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, when Series 10 first started, they were super hype about it.
Yeah.
But I'm actually scrolling through Twitter, and it seems like a 50-50 opinion again. A lot of the content creators that said, I'm not going to mention them because I don't know if they care. A lot of the content creators that were like, ooh, Series 10 is kind of fun. You could fake things out again. They're just like, you know what? Series 9 was a lot better than Series 10. I'm like, no one's ever happy. That's what I realized.
No one's ever happy. I mean, half of the thing is that with Series 10, people are just like it it hasn't actually come out yet though, right? That's August.
It doesn't exist yet, technically.
It doesn't exist.
Download it,
and there's been so much talk that in my mind I was like, wait, it hasn't come out yet, right?
No, the thing is, they announced it really early. Like I feel like they announced it early in July just to be like, "Hey, please don't stop playing our game."
It's true. It's
We
true.
got something new coming.
See, but you know what happened when that happened is everybody was like, "We can make a tournament around this." Like, so we did, Moxie did, PAVGA did, all of these people.
There's so many.
Joe UX9 did. They all made a series on tournament on Series 10. So. There are people who are like, oh, I really don't like it right now because their experience in Series 10 is more often than not losing a tournament. So,
I mean, that's not wrong, right?
I mean, unless people are practicing with their friends in Series 10, but honestly, I don't really see too much of that happening. Maybe in Showdown, but I don't know.
I actually played on Cart today. You can, if you go into free battle, you can. It seems like an unwritten rule that everyone's playing Series 10 on free battle right now. So you can kind of do that. You'll encounter your un-IV'd legendary team of 6, but you can probably beat those easily because those are usually just bad players.
That is fun when that happens.
Yeah, like it's so easy, honestly.
It's like, oh, okay, this person's bringing in a Mewtwo, Zapdos, Articuno, plus all of the restricted Monsation, Zamazenta, all of those. But then you smack them down with your Bull Awesome, and it's like, oh.
It's like Rillaboom can take care of most of them.
Exactly, yeah.
I got a Rillaboom and an Ensign and a Regieleki. I'm fine. I got the core.
Your Ensign is good enough, exactly. There has been a lot, and I mentioned this just now, but there has been a lot of esports going on right now. This past week or the past 2 weeks. And I like that. I really do like that. Pokésports loves that. But it's interesting to see so many of them being Series 10, that the one that came out that was Series 9 had me going, this is probably Series 10. It wasn't. It was Series 9. This week, PAVGA, the Pokemon Asia VG Association, had their AST number 1 as part of their major series. And it's always really fun to look at the like top 8 Japanese players, because Japanese players are always so different than all the NA stuff. Like that's where we first saw Umbreon before Umbreon started actually making appearances in tournaments. The first the winner, obviously it's in Japanese and I don't know how to read it. The winner who went 9-2-0 brought a Spectrier, Metagross, Cresselia, Sylveon, Landorus, and Tornadus. Sylveon and Cresselia are the two that stand out to me as like, that's not what people are usually bringing right now.
The thing with Cress, I can kind of feel it. Like,
Sure.
I could see, yeah, Trick Room, Ally Switch, etc. Sylveon, I've always seen Sylveon as a Pokemon that, like, oh, you're too slow to do damage, and you're too frail to stay on the field long enough. Like, if you die to an Urshifu poison jab because your defense is so low, that's kind of scary to me, you know?
Yeah.
Because Sylveon's so slow. But I'm sure that's kind of the thing he was going for, right, with the Crest and the Sylveon. It's like you have the Trick Room to make yourself that much slower and end up going first. Because Hyper Voice plus Pixelate is terrifying.
Right. Now, I mean, one thing to remember here is, again, there is no bringing restricted mons, and there is no bringing, and there is still bringing Dynamax, Gigantamax. So things like Metagross are still very much in the meta because they're so good after you get that Max Steel Spike up, or that Dynamax up for the Max Steel Spike. In second was actually a person from Italy, Flavio Del Pidio, also winning it at 7-2-0. So I guess tying with first. That being Cinderace, Metagross, Tapu Fini, Rillaboom, Urshifu, Single Strike, and Tornadus.
Okay, so more of a meta team, but you have that Cinderace there that's like so good in Dynamax meta, but so bad in Series 10.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested to see where that goes. Person in third brought a Regirock.
Oh, Regirock was a thing for like a week. I remember that.
Person in fourth. It was actually a tie for third and fourth, but anyway, fourth. Person in third, fourth, second person, brought a Registeel. All right, Registeel and a Regieleki though. I would go over the full list, but honestly, it's the rest of it's kind of normal. You know, you got your Moltres, your Landorus, your Grimmsnarl, Entei. Entei's a little weird, but it's there.
It's weird because Entei is super common right now. You didn't really expect to see Entei in Series 9 too much. It was always a good like Bulldoze user, but right now I'm seeing Entei's like just whip out Stone Edge. Just because there's such a lack of rock moves that you see an Entei with its base 100 speed, which is actually a pretty good speed tier right now. Just whip out a Stone Edge. And for some reason it always connects on me.
Well, of course. Because that's the thing with Stone Edge, and this is me talking to the audience, it always connects on you. It doesn't connect from you. People call it Stone Miss because they recall using it. They would call it Stone Hit if they recalled getting it hit to them. Period. What?
Series 9 had a lot of Metagross, especially in this top.
It was pretty Metagross, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder why people haven't switched over to Solgaleo yet. Am I missing something? Is there a reason? Because like Solgaleo was bad because Groudon and Charizard were popular before, but they're not really popular right now. At least not that I can tell.
I don't know if Solgaleo is going to make it into Series 10. Just because I feel like there are a handful of other legendaries that you can, other restricteds that you can bring in.
It does have that why use Solgaleo when you can use Zacian.
Yeah.
Kind of thought process behind it. So
and it's like why use Solgaleo when you can use Metagross, which does similar things, plus a restricted, which does other things. You know?
Or you can always use Necrozma Duskmane, because at least you get like the stupid tankiness with it. And you get the Trick Room factor, you can Mimic You, Shadow Sneak yourself.
I do like it.
I'm thinking too much. Maybe one day that'll be a video. That sounds popular.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Just Meteor Beam, Kevin. You never miss those. Oh, that's a meme. That's a meme because I think what was it? Players Cup 3 qualifiers where I placed like top 70. It was my best Players Cup, unlike Players Cup 4 qualifiers. Like it was 45 battles I did,
Wow.
and throughout the 45 battles, I didn't miss a single meteor beam, and I was firing off a lot of them, like like at least once per battle in most cases.
Wow.
Didn't miss a single one, boys.
All right. So moving on, there are other tournaments this past week. Another one was Moxie Boosted. Moxie Boosted had a sub tournament this weekend. And the person who ended up winning was Atrix MJ on Twitter, at Atrix MJ, ATRIXMJ. Go congratulate.
He designed our shirt.
What's that?
He designed our fisherman shirt.
You're
I'm
kidding.
not wearing it right now. No, that was him. Good job, Mike.
Go and go and congratulate this guy. What? It's amazing.
Hey, Atrix.
Atrix.
Good job. We need another shirt.
Yes. Wow. So Atrix ended up winning with this. I feel so much more connected to this right now. Okay. So Atrix ended up winning with Xerneas, Amoonguss, Incineroar, Indeedee, Stack Attacker, Rillaboom. All of the stuff that I may or may not have been about to say that was negative about this team, it's not happening. We're only in positive city right now, my friends.
Was this restricted? This was Series 10, right?
Yes, this was the Series 10 tournament. Yeah, Xerneas was the restricted. Xerneas, Amoonguss, Incineroar, Indeedee, Stack Attacker, and a Rillaboom.
I'm not proud of you, but good job.
I mean, also, welcome to the title of this episode, where we are, as a little spoiler of what we're doing later, going to be looking into Xerneas and Zacian and all of the things that you can use instead of them, because there's a lot of people going into Series 10 thinking that the only two legendaries that you can be using are Xerneas and Zacian. But let's talk about this team for now with the Xerneas. The Amoonguss factor is right here. I feel like I'm one of those memes where, like, if anybody says Amoonguss, like, my eyes glow red and I'm like all like blurry all over. You know, it's like Amoonguss.
I mean, I was playing League and calling a Mumu Amoonguss for the longest time.
There you go.
And no one corrected me, Mike. No one.
No one.
Not even you.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, the Indeedee was actually asked about in that Twitter response, asking how Indeedee was, and Atrix had said that it was really good in most matchups as a secondary redirector, but mainly used to stop turn one fake out. Then just pivot around into either Incineroar or Amoonguss while Xerneas does its thing. So this entire team is based around Xerneas. And it works.
Hey, it works.
Because you just Geomancy and Dazzling Gleam. Or if you've got a Pokemon on the other side that isn't going to go down to Dazzling Gleam, you just Moonblast the other one while redirecting into your secondary Pokemon.
Welcome to Xerneas, folks.
Welcome to Xerneas. Welcome to Xerneas. It's such a good Pokemon, though.
It is really good. I'm just also, and like he even had the Stack Attack on his team. Stack Attack is one of the best ways to deal with Xerneas, because if you just give it safety goggles, you don't get redirected by Rage Powder, because safety goggles prevents powder moves. The issue, or I mean, I guess it seems like Atrix was aware of this because he's also running Stack Attack, and because of that reason, he's also running Indeedee, because you can't prevent Indeedee redirecting you. But what's nice is that Stack Attack is just going to live whatever Xerneas throws at it, which is probably a fairy move.
Yep.
And then not get redirected by Rage Powder, Volcaronas, or Amoongus's, and then just Gyro Ball you. And then after you set up the +2, you're just instant done.
Yeah. Or if you want to set up your own fake out, you just don't bring the Indeedee. You bring out the Incineroar and the Rillaboom. You bring out the Incineroar and the Xerneas. You bring out Incineroar and the Stack Attacker. And you just do your thing. Whatever. Set up Trick Room if you want. I don't care.
You know what I've been encountering that is so bad, but I've encountered it 3 times. Was fake out female Indeedee.
Okay.
The reason they're doing it is to still fake out flying mons, and I understand, but why? It's such a wasted move slot. You can only fake out floating mons because you have the Psychic Terrain up.
Indeedee seems like one of those Pokemon where every single move has some kind of use that you will probably end up using at some point or another in your Pokemon playthroughs. The typical set: Expanding Force, Follow Me, Helping Hand, Protect. All 4 of those moves you will use often. Helping Hand and Follow Me, most likely on 99% of Indeedees. In fact, I am going to go right now over to Picolytics, look at Indeedee.
If it's not 95 and above, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So 99% Follow Me, 98% Expanding Force, 83% Helping Hand. That's not as much Helping Hand as I thought.
That's 13 people that are losing. Continue.
Yeah, that's fair. 54%
also,
Protect. Like, Fake Out is brought by about 10% of people right now. In Series 10 anyway, Series 9 anyway. But, yeah.
That's too much.
That's too much.
Also, if you're playing Indeedee and you're not running mid speed, you're doing it wrong. 3 out of its 4 moves have like +6 priority, so it's just Expanding Force, so it doesn't really matter. And you want to make sure that you need min speed so that you don't speed tie the. It's the Rillaboom, the Indeedee V Rillaboom factor.
Oh,
you want to
that's true.
underspeed the Rillaboom so you can get the terrain up.
Hey, there's a pro tip for you guys out there. Trainer tips. Yeah, make sure your Indeedee is min speed. Absolutely no speed at all. 0 IVs, 0 EVs. You want it to underspeed Rillaboom. Indeedee has
give it an Iron Ball.
Exactly, really. Indeedee has a base of 85, and so does Rillaboom. So if either of them have 1 speed higher, they will outspeed the other. So you want to make sure that your Indeedee is as low speed as possible.
Yeah. Give us more tournaments, Mike. I know we got more.
Oh yeah, we got more.
What's next?
We've got Players Cup 4 this weekend. That was regionals were this weekend. And although we don't have we have a bunch of qualified players, but we don't have the winners for them yet, because as we were doing our notes and as we're recording this, I believe Players Cup 4 is just finishing up. They were doing caster battles the last time I looked, which is always fun. I believe like Sierra was playing against Alex or something like that. It was cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who qualified?
We've got Enrique. Sorry, you know what? I'm going to have to pull this up. I need to open this on a new tab because that's just how we go. Oh, Kevin. There
Hello.
You go. Your face was being blocked by something. We have Enrico Grimaldo, Leonard Kraft III, James Beck, and Nick Sefranek from North America. We have Fevzi Ozcan, Leonardo Bonanomi, Antonio Sanchez, and Kevin Salvetto from Europe. We've got Israel Swaste, Jonathan Baradas, Renzo Navarro, and Felipe Silva from Latin America. And Darcy McCarthy, Alexander Poole, Luke Uele, and Ben Madigan from Oceania. Lots of interesting Pokemon on this list. First thing that jumps out at me, and I don't know, are you looking at it right now as well?
Yes.
Okay. I'm looking at all the Moltres on this. Are you seeing all the Moltres on this?
A lot of Moltres.
That's at least 7 on this list of 16. Almost half of these teams are currently bringing Moltres. I don't even want to look at Rillaboom, but I'm sure that one is higher.
Rillaboom?
Yeah.
No.
What?
Yeah,
what?
I'm seeing more Moltres than Rillaboom. There's
now
no Rillaboom in NA.
What?
There's 2 Rillaboom in Europe. There's no Rillaboom in Latin America, and there's 1 Rillaboom in Oceania.
You're having trouble counting. You're having trouble counting. We need to look through this again. There's 2 in North America. There's 2 in Europe. Enrique and Nick.
Where do you see a Rillaboom?
Second. Oh, Rillaboom. Oh, wow. I'm the one. I'm the one. I was thinking Incineroar. I said Rillaboom the whole time.
Incineroar is everywhere.
Incineroar is everywhere.
Should be everywhere.
Yeah. Wow. There's not a lot of Rillaboom.
No Rillabooms to be seen. Seafranic is also running a Raikou. Kudos to you for not being on the Reggie Lucky train. I'm proud of you.
Mm-hmm. We've still got a little bit of love for Togekiss in the world. In Australia, mind you. Alexander Poole is bringing a Togekiss.
Oh, I'm proud of you too.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it makes sense because Togekiss can redirect ground moves away from Torkoal and Stakateka, which he also has on his team.
Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, again, this is another Series 9 tournament, the Players' Cup 4. But I mean, we're seeing things like Reggie Steele on this list. Literally,
3 of them.
everybody, no, 3 out of the 4 qualified people from Europe brought a Reggie Steele.
And 1 more in NA. That's actually strange.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it.
Fully
Fevzi also whipping out the Blastoise. Also here for it.
I'm here for the Blastoise. Enrique Grimaldo with just honorable mentions all around. Enrique Grimaldo with the Garchomp.
Where was I when they were like, yeah, Reggie Steele's a good Pokemon now?
I definitely missed that memo.
Yeah, never heard of that one.
Yeah. And we have a question in the chat from Brandon Yap saying, any chance Dragonite could be good? Do you see Dragonite actually like making any kind of moves in Series 10?
In Series 10, no. In Series 9, it was doable with, by being a support mon with Colossal.
Yeah.
I don't see it doing much in Series 9. It just wouldn't it's not going to outlive a Xerneas or a Zacian.
Right. So the thing I'll say about that, I think that what we're heading into is the meta of either very strong fairy Pokemon or very strong fairy killers. And Dragonite might have a place among taking out the fairy killers, but that's like one step in the meta detached, right? Like your primary goal right now is to take out the fairies, and then whatever that will be, if it's if it's steel, then you're trying to take out the steel Pokemon.
What happened to dragons is such a crime ever since Gen 6. Like, Mike can attest to this. Gen 5, dragons were overpowered. They were overpowered to the point that instead of adjusting the resistances, they needed a whole new typing. But then they kind of nerfed. I feel like they didn't nerf it to the ground. But Gen 6, you kind of still saw your Garchomps. You kind of still saw your Hydreigons. But as Gen 7 rolled around, they released, more fairies. They released all the Tapus. And you're just like, you just see less and less dragons. And now, like, you don't even need a dragon on your team. It's not a staple typing. It's not a grass, water, fire. You get me? It's like, you can do Steel Dragon Fairy, but do you really need the dragon? Probably not.
So, yeah, as obviously, as more Players' Cup news comes out, we will be reporting on that. But for now, congratulations to all those who are making it to the global finals, because now we do have those coming up.
You're all better than us.
You're all better than us. Like there's a very high bar for that. All right. Folks, that is what we're going to be talking about there. When we come back from the break, we're going to go into some of the meta breakers. We're going to be talking about specifically Xerneas and Zacian, what they are, what they do, why they're going to be a problem, as well as what you can do about it. All that and more when we come back from the break in just a sec. And we're on a break. I love all the people in the chat who, once we started talking about dragons, were just what is it? I guess it's a tribute to dragons past, right?
Yeah.
Choice Specs Latios, E-Speed Banded Dragonite.
Yeah, now Dragonite goes down to a Meryl.
Rayquaza in general.
They had to make Mega Rayquaza broken just to make dragons relevant.
Do you see, like, that is how drastic fairy typing was, is the fact that they made a Mega for like not just a legendary Pokemon, but like a legendary like third expansion Pokemon.
Hold on, the first dragon legendary also. There was no dragon legendaries before that guy.
Yeah, you're right.
No, yeah, he was the first.
That's Gen 3. Yeah, I was trying to think Gen 2.
Gen 3 had a lot of good dragons.
Yeah.
specifically that in Salamence, and that's all you kind of needed.
Wow, the first dragon legendary and it dragon ascended its way into mega form, and it was trivialized by a Meryl.
Poor guy.
You can play rough, and it goes down.
Yeah, you can icy wind it, and it goes down.
Oh, a stiff breeze knocks out Mega Rayquaza. I like that.
It's cold outside.
Oh, same with Noivern, yeah. But it's interesting to see. I don't know if it was an unnecessary addition.
It was necessary, but not to that degree. I think they made Fairy as a type, like they needed something to attack dragons, but they needed Fairy to be weaker to more relevant types.
That's it. It's that it limits the things that can take it down.
Fairy's offensively strong and defensively strong because it has so many resistances and no weaknesses. It's weakness to poison and steel. The only reason steel is good is because of fairies.
Yeah.
Steel wasn't good before. It was a defensive typing. Now here it is as an offensive typing with Zacian. It's so weird.
Although if we're going in the circle like that, it's sad how poison is still not really all that great. It was like an inadvertent buff to poison when fairies came out, but yet there's just not enough oomph with poison types.
I think poison shouldn't be weak to psychic personally. It never made sense to me. Like, what are you doing? Moving the poison around the body faster with your mind? Like,
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like poison is only good when it's attached to another typing, if that makes sense. Like, poison darks are pretty relevant. Poison grass is pretty relevant, but poison by itself, garbage. Like,
right, exactly.
Poison ground's fun. Nidoking's fun. But...
yeah. Like, the only thing in my mind that poison is good for is poison jab on Pokemon that aren't even poison types, because the typing is just so good, but again, the Pokemon attached to them just such trash that if you want to use a poison move, just slap it on an Urshifu. Whatever, it's strong enough. The things that you're doing poison damage to, they don't want to take any kind of poison damage. Yeah.
Can't even use my favorite legendaries, Rayquaza or Lugia. I mean, you can. You're just gonna have to work hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, you have to work really hard.
That's the thing. Yeah, with the removal of Dynamax, it's going to make it even harder, and we'll talk about this in the podcast. Actually, you know what? Let's just go back. Let's just go back. Thank you everybody for your comments. Let's address them while we're in the podcast. Yeah. And we're back. Welcome back to Pokésports, everybody. With the removal of Dynamax and Gigantamax going to be gone in T-minus like 12 days. We need to rethink a little bit of what we've been doing, because this has just been the meta of like the most unsuspecting Pokemon becoming so good when their moves become 140 power and when their HP straight up doubles. A lot of those happen to be, in a weird way, the restricted Pokemon. So going into Series 10, again, to reiterate, we're gaining back the Series 8 mechanic of bringing in one restricted Pokemon, one legendary. But we are losing the ability to Dynamax, Gigantamax. We were talking during the break about some people's favorite dragons, because dragons, for years now, have gotten the short end of the stick ever since Gen 6 when fairies came out. Brandon Yap specifically says, I can't even use my favorite legendaries in Rayquaza or Lugia. Rayquaza, Dragon, Lugia, not, but both of those were not super usable even in Series 8 where they were Dynamaxable, but now even more so, or maybe not. They are in kind of a weird position where you still have legendary Pokemon like Zacian, still have legendary Pokemon like Xerneas, who are just very, very good on their own. Didn't even need Dynamax. And now you've got like Rayquaza and Lugia, who were made more usable with Dynamax and now don't have it. What do you think?
I mean, it's definitely you can try,
Mm.
but you're gonna struggle, and I think you're gonna have common threats. Like you have a Lugia on your team, right? What's stopping that Lugia from like what can a Lugia do to an Urshifu with Focus Sash?
Mm.
Kind of nothing. Urshifu will get 2 hits on it, break your multi-scale, crit you twice, and then there goes Lugia. Um, Same situation with Rayquaza. You have a Xerneas. What is Rayquaza gonna do to Xerneas? That sets up a +2 in your face. Sadly, Rayquaza's base speed is also very slow. A lot of people don't realize that, but its base speed is like 80. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just a bad situation for both those Pokemon.
Now, one thing that the common response in any chat is where somebody says, "I want to use X Pokemon. Is this viable?" The answer is always yes, kind of asterisk. The answer to that is usually you can use any Pokemon, just you might not win as much, and that's a fine argument, but you're trying to create a team. It doesn't really solve the greater issue of I'm trying to make a team that has a high win rate because it succeeds in multiple different ways. And the Rayquaza thing is an unfortunate situation where like you need to kind of build your team around it such that you can bring a Rayquaza and have it do Rayquaza things. You'll have less Pokemon that it covers, but it's still usable. And I think that's actually the more accurate representation is like you can bring whatever Pokemon you want. It's just every Pokemon has a counter, and some Pokemon have more counters than others. Like some situations will counter more than
Yeah.
others.
Say what you want about Dynamax. Dynamax, albeit was a very strong mechanic, some would say broken mechanic. It did make irrelevant Pokemon relevant.
Yeah.
Now that it's gone, it's so much harder to use. I don't want to say bad, worse Pokemon. Uh, just because you don't have that factor to buff them, right?
Right.
So what's meta is meta, and it's meta for a reason. Is what
Exactly.
is kind of what my opinion is on it.
Now, for that reason, Kevin this past week went live on Pokésports. Yay, congrats. Us, we did it. We're back to going live and making videos and stuff.
Check us out on YouTube and Twitch.
YouTube and Twitch. Um, Kevin this week went on and did some team building. Now, I know that your team building is a little bit different than what normal people do.
Yes.
Tell the people about what you did.
So let me actually pull up my teams. So when I was team building, and the reason I team built was because I was playing in the Liege, and I got completely bodied by Corey, who showed me that my team needs an answer to Water Urshifu.
Hmm.
The team that I was running had a Landorus, Incineroar, and Volcarona on it, all of which
Yikes.
could not stand, and my Regieleki also couldn't do much to the Urshifu because it always had Sash. So I was just always at a deficit. He'd always eliminate 2 of my Pokemon before I can get rid of his Urshifu. So that's kind of why I got tilted and I wanted to team build. I'm like, I'm done with this team. I don't want to play it no more. Um, so
It tilted you so hard you went into live.
it tilted me so hard. I went live and I
Yeah.
built 6 teams. Yeah. um, when I build a team, a lot of people when they build a team, they look at a restricted they want, and that's a fair way to do it.
Yeah.
They look at a restricted they want to play with, and then they just go at it. Me, I look at a pocket pick first. A Pokemon that you don't see too often. Some of the pocket picks I've included on my team, not exclusive to just one team, but all around. I have Pokemon like Heatran, like Mantine, like Milotic, like Swampert, like Zapdos, Galarian, Aegislash, Landorus, Bisharp. I have these pocket pick Pokemons, and I find these pocket pick Pokemons by like scrolling through Babiri mainly, just to see what these people are trying out. Because they make top 10, they're pretty good. So you find the pocket pick mons, and then you have to look at, I think, 5 things. You have to look for your taunter,
Mm-hmm.
look for your speed control, look for your wide guard user because you need wide guard this generation, and it is mandatory. If you don't have it, you're losing.
This series, yeah.
You, oh yeah, this series.
Definitely.
Um, Did I say speed control? I think I did. You need your fake out mon. Fake out's so important right now.
Mm.
And then you need your restricted. Those are the 5 things. So then after that, like I'll use the team I have, for example. Here I have a Mantine team. Mantine has my speed control because I have the Tailwind. Has my wide guard because it has wide guard. The restricted, I'm running with it. Kyogre because that makes perfect sense. There's no other way around that. I also have 2 forms of stopping Rillaboom on the team because I included both Queenly Majesty, Serena, and an Indeedee. I have Fake Out myself because I have the Instant as well because Instant is broken. And I also have another speed control factor, which is a Stack Attacker, which is also my Xerneas killer. So just situations like that, you always want to try to cover for what you have. And if you're not building a team that revolves around KOing a Xerneas or KOing a Zacian, then you're going to be at an immediate disadvantage when someone brings those against you.
Now,
you need at least one answer.
Another thing to remember is that we're losing certain Gigantamax Pokemon that were absolutely nuts. Like we're losing a solar-powered G-Max Charizard. We're losing Wildfire. Yes, well, exactly. So bringing in things like Kyogre is a little bit easier to win the weather war because not as many people are bringing that nasty Torkoal Charizard or Groudon Charizard combination anymore. Now, mind you, Sun does still exist. Kevin actually did make a Torkoal Venusaur team as well, which tell me about that one because that's an interesting team you got there.
Yeah, that one's kind of all over the place, but it still fulfills everything that I kind of needed to do. That team I built around Galarian Zapdos mainly because Galarian Zapdos is in a good spot because you got rid of max airstreams, and now if you have a flying move, you're automatically just that much better, just because of the lack of flying type moves in the game. And I thought, okay, what's the biggest problem for Zacian?
Yeah.
And that's Volcarona. Zapdos, clean up the Volcarona. Zapdos also takes care of Incineroars because you get the Defiant boost and you just hit him with a kick or something. And also, Zapdos works well with Zacian in that if you Scarf it, I don't remember if I Scarfed it, but you could Scarf it, and you can get a Thunderous Kickoff, and then you pretty much just blow anything up because your Zacian is essentially at +2 because your opponent's at -1 and Zacian's at +1. The rest of the team, I also really like Gothitelle. Gothitellization's very annoying. Zacian.
Oops, lost you there for a sec.
The Zacian also has Imprison with the Gothitelle, which I thought was going to be hilarious because what happens in a mirror match, if you lead Gothitelle and Zacian, your opponent also has a Zacian on the field, you just imprison and stop them from using any moves, and they just struggle themselves to death.
See, I didn't actually know that. I didn't actually know that Imprison does not only your moves but your opponents, your teammates' moves.
No, it's not your team.
Or what is it?
It's your opponent's moves. So like, if it's a Zacian v Zacian, all Zacians carry the same 4 moves.
Yes.
Right. They carry the Protect.
Oh, so sorry, you have Imprison on Zacian?
Yeah, on Zacian.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that's so funny. See, I like
they can't leave with Gothitelle on the field, which is really funny.
I like the way that you team build because you're not, like you said, you're not looking at the one restricted and building around that restricted. What you're doing is you're thinking about the concepts. You're thinking, what Pokemon am I dealing with? What moves am I dealing with? And those are just your staple things that you are bringing into every team. And then from there, you're just kind of filling out the rest with other moves that you think could fit the situation, like the Zacian thing. You've essentially blocked that Zacian.
I've stopped Zacian. Yeah,
exactly. You've completely stopped Zacian by bringing another Zacian, and then you still have your Zacian on the field.
Yeah, and then my Zacian can still attack. And then what's great with Gothitelle, since he can't leave, you just ignore the Zacian that's just continually struggling.
Yeah.
Literally struggling.
I think to really help drive this home for people at home who are trying to team build, I think what you can do, take this information, try it out on your own. When you go into Pokemon Showdown or in cartridge to actually put this into application, as you do your games, take a mental note of what moves you are and are not using, right? Like play a good 5 games, you realize, oh, I'm not using this poison type coverage move as much as I thought I'd be using. Then swap it out. Swap out your moves until you find that you are using all 4 of your moves effectively. Because if you have a wasted move, that could have been a move that was something that could help you win a game that you lost.
I also want to drive home the fact that if you look at this team, I still go with my 5 core ideas. I have the Swampert here for Wide Guard.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Torkoal here for Trick Room. I have the Gothitelle here for Speed Control and Trick Room. Gothitelle is also my Fake Out user and Helping Hand user.
Mm-hmm.
I have Sleep Powder on Venusaur, and then also Taunt on Galarian Zapdos. I always try to have those key components because they're so important right now.
Also very funny that your Zacian killer is Zacian. I do very much like that.
Torkoal also does a really good job, but Zacian is even funny.
I think that, like, as Juicy Block said it best, just that's rude. It's just rude. But all of these teams share a very common theme, minus your second and third, including your third, in that they're all Zacian / Xerneas killers. In terms of restricted, of the 5 teams that I'm looking at right now that Kevin built, we've got Ho-Oh, Eternatus, Kyogre, Yveltal, and then the Zacian team. Because that Zacian is, again, to imprison the other Zacian. You're holding... I do think that's hilarious. You're holding the Zacian hostage.
It's just punishment. Yeah. They deserve it for running Zacian.
Exactly. They're like,
it's totally hypocritical.
Yeah.
It's totally hypocritical.
Now, you did make 2 teams with Xerneas, and why was that?
First one I don't like. The second one I try to fix the problems that the later one had.
Oh.
I try to have... I switched the Landorus up to make it a Landorus Eye, so at least I'm outspeeding Urshifus, unless they're Scarfed, which they never are. I also am running Amoonguss instead of Volcarona, because Amoonguss, at least when the Urshifu gets redirected onto the Amoonguss, it's not a detriment, you know? Amoonguss can take a couple of Surging Strikes. I'm still running the Instant, because Instant is good. And I switched over to Aegislash here because I also struggled against Zacians with my older team. And now that I have, you know, the Instant, the Aegislash to at least take a hit, Aegislash also carrying the Wide Guard, which was really annoying when my opponent can just Dazzling Gleam, Astral Barrage, Expanding Force, Origin Pulse, Water Spout, Precipice Blades. You need Wide Guard, folks.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true. It's so true.
Yeah, I just kind of try to fix the problems that I had with that team. That team, that's the one I took the least amount of time on because I already had the team done. It was just rearranging things to where I was happy.
I want to take a line that Trace VGC said and just package it as my own. So this is a statement by Trace VGC, affectionately credit given to them for this. Says, also, don't be afraid to use things that are off meta. Always test your ideas, even if they seem stupid, because surprise factor is a thing, and you never know if you'll find a hidden gem. I think that these teams that you've created here are full of the surprise factor. Again, I'm harping on it a lot, but Imprisonation, very funny, very surprising. Very cool to see. Now, Kevin does have Poképastes and links for all of these. He's just dropped one in the chat, but he will also be making videos on a lot of these, I'm sure. So do look out for those. There aren't, and as Big Boris says in the chat, there aren't a lot of good wide guard users. Now, mind you, there was a person very early on in Pokésports who in every one of our videos was always like, just use Mantine. Use Mantine once. Bring Mantine into the game. I want to see a Mantine. And you've done it. I mean, we did it before
it's
to
not bad.
appease them.
It's legitimately good.
It's not terrible.
Yeah. It can live Regieleki Thunderbolts. Like,
what?
It's legitimately good. Yeah. With Walkenberry. But yeah.
Huh.
The thing with that I'm also looking at with that Zacian team. I'm considering even putting Quagsire instead of Swampert. The only reason I have Swampert is because of Wide Guard. But I was considering putting Quagsire because Quagsire is another thing that no one's using. But if you
Hmm.
put a Quagsire in front of a Zacian, what's Zacian gonna do?
It's true.
Nothing. Can't do anything. It
I
it's +1 doesn't matter.
I love Quagsire. I love Quagsire and I love Clefable. Unaware has a very, very, very special place in my heart. And I feel like if I were to start going back into singles like soon and it had the same kind of no Dynamax rules, I mean, I don't really like the 3v3 singles, but if there was like a no Dynamax Smogon group, which there is, just if that gains more traction anyway, I would probably start using a Quagsire or a Clefable there because I love the idea of completely ignoring stat changes. I think it's just so cool. You
I
up
agree
your
with that.
defense, your special defense doesn't matter. Truly doesn't matter. I don't know. I'm unaware. I'm unaware of your +2 defense.
Big Boris also made a good point.
Mm.
Well, he made a good point, and then I disagree with another point. But I'll get to the good point first. He said
Okay.
on ladder, imprisonization is good, and in open team sheet tournaments, it forces them not to bring Zacian. So, and you can still bring yours, which is 100%. And
100% true.
the other thing that I don't agree with, he says there isn't too many good wide guard users. Um, See, I can think of a few good one off the top of my head. They're just like, they're not common. They're good
Mhm.
because they have wide guard. Things like Mian Chao is really good. I love Mian Chao. It can taunt, it can quick guard, it can wide guard, it can fake out. It's pretty much,
That's
and
all
it
it
has
needs.
inner focus, so you can't even fake it out. Um, there's also Mantine. There's also things like Swampert, Aegislash. Aegislash is a really good one right now. There's Hitmontop, which is also a good one if you need like an Incineroar replacement. But those are the ones I think off the top of my head. I'm gonna search for
But
them. 'Cause
so to bring it back to something that we were talking about earlier, and I think this helps drive home some points here. We were talking about how the Japanese players are bringing all of these weird Pokemon that we've never seen and doing so well with them. You know, you're seeing like, oh, in as well in the Japan National Championships. I didn't even mention this one. The winner, I believe it's Kohei Fujita, brought a Regieleki, Regidrago, Cinderace, Urshifu, Sableye, and Alolan Ninetales. So just
what?
yeah, right, right.
Oh,
Weird team by all standards, very weird team. But they're taking what they're seeing on the meta, creating something interesting, using Pokemon that are not normally seen, not seen very often, and they're winning with them because they know how to use them. You can bring whatever Pokemon you want, and I'll say this as many times as I have to. You can bring whatever Pokemon you want, but as long as it has a purpose on your team, then you'll win. If you're bringing a Rayquaza because you really love a Rayquaza, go for it. You might not win that much, but if you're bringing a Rayquaza because it serves a very specific purpose that you have seen in the meta, you're going to win a lot more.
I think the biggest thing, especially now that Dynamax is gone, it's not bringing your favorite Pokemon, but bringing your favorite Pokemon that can do something
Mhm.
against the top threats. If you got an Ice type and the meta's full of dragons, you can bring whatever Ice type you want. They're
Yeah.
probably all going to do something, right? If you got a Fire types are really good right about now. The problem is the game doesn't have that many.
Right.
But the biggest reason why Incineroar is because there's no better fire type than Incineroar. It doesn't exist. That is the best, the pivotal, and the easiest to stick on any team.
By the way, the might be the runner up. It might actually be the person who won. I'm not actually sure how that match ended up. But the person that Kohei Fujita was facing, Rinya Kobayashi, brought a Mamoswine. Mamoswine was on that team. It
Ice
was
types.
a typical like fire chlorophyll, sunny day chlorophyll team, but ice types. Yes, Mamoswine was on that team.
Hey, if the Japanese national championships was anything like Players Cup 4, there was a Moltres on every single team, that Mamoswine would have tore up
Yeah.
every single Moltres that was in front of its way. And it's not a Pokemon you see often.
No.
And you know what? There was no Rillabooms in Players Cup 4 either. So there was just nothing to take out this Mammoth Swine here.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. And again, yes, as Tracy, you're reading my mind today. Yes, exactly this. Also, if you try something now and it doesn't work, save it in the back of your mind. This is exactly what they're saying, by the way. Again, credit where credit is due, because the meta changes over time and it could find a niche later on. What you're seeing right now, the Among Us factor. People are trying stuff out. People are trying to figure out what redirection looks like, trying to figure out what the right team looks like. And so they're bringing Among Us on their team because it fills a spot. It fills that uncertainty spot so you can do the things that are certain. Later on in the month, when people stop bringing Among Us and start bringing a certain meta Pokemon often, then that might be where that Pokemon that is your favorite can shine.
And I'm going to regret saying this later.
You will.
But
always do.
Yep. If you haven't tried Eternatus with Rillaboom and Aegislash yet, do it. It's so disgusting. Eternatus with Black Sludge and building really tanky with Cosmic Power next to a Rillaboom with Grassy Terrain, you never die. You just keep healing and healing and healing, and then you have Recover on top of it. You have Flamethrower to take care of Zacian, take care of
you just kind of hold
you just kind of stay there. Yeah. And then like you can't even EQ it with Landorus because the Grassy Terrain will reduce the damage of EQ, and you're just sitting there Cosmic Power spamming until the end of time. And then you have the Aegislash, which serves as the Wide Guard user and the Xerneas killer.
Yeah.
Just sitting there as well. You know, it just, and if you get lucky and you have an Urshifu does Urshifu break through King's Shield? Surely it does.
Don't know. Somebody in the chat can confirm that for me. But one last thing that I want to say about that. Colton says Among Us will probably remain pretty consistent, and I respect you for that. Yes, well, I respect you for that, but I will be very interested to keep a very close eye on Among Us over the next few months, because I've been right about this every single time. At the beginning of the meta, Among Us is top 10. By the end of the meta, it drops down to at least top 20 or even further below that. It has happened over and over because, again, I am the meme of like blurry screen, like Among Us. Like I have eyes of a hawk on Among Us. So
a lot of mention on Encore in the chat. I think Encore is really good, but it's not mandatory for a team.
Mm-hmm.
It's great when you have it, and it's annoying when you have it, but it's not an end-all be-all. Like, if you have it or you don't have it, it won't make or break a team.
Right.
Or she does break through King Shield, by the way. Thank you for confirming, Revheads.
Nice. Sweet. Okay, cool. Well, with that is going to be the end of this week's Pokésports podcast. Want to thank everybody for tuning in today and listening and commenting about the Among Us factor. It's not top 10 now. It was a little while ago. In fact, we did a podcast on it. So there it is. It's already dropped. Anyway, make sure you're following us on Twitch at Pokésports, twitch.tv/Pokésports, PokésportsPod on Twitter, as well as YouTube. youtube.com/Pokésports, because now we are putting out videos. We're doing streams on both platforms. They're very, very fun to see. This week on Monday, I will be playing a different game. Friday, I'll still be turning up the heat with Hades. We're trying to blast our way through the game, bringing the heat up one difficulty increment at a time. I believe we're on heat 7 or 9 right now. One of the two. I have it written down. And then tomorrow we'll be doing a different game. So that'll be fun. Kevin, what are you up to this week?
Playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
Series 10.
Series 10. I want to thank everybody over at Patreon, patreon.com/Pokésports Podcast, who are subscribed to us right now. We are midway through the league. Lots of games have already been played. Looks like the progression is going quite well, and Kevin already lost. So
You can go see that on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. That's a video. Want to give a big patron shout out to Matthew H, Corey, Carlo H, Scott D, Joseph G, King Boo, Martine, Ahmed, Ro Ixon, Arctivish Dylan, Greg T, Lewis J, Makatata, Ryan G, Soen, Ryan, Lupus, Mod Pierre, and Mod Tofu. Big shout outs to all those people. Thank you to M Dash for every single second of every single piece of music that you hear on this podcast. M Dash is amazing, and I want you all to please go over to M Dash's channel. Say, I love your music. Please make more, because I want to hear more M Dash.
Pokésports sent us.
Yes.
Winky face.
Anyway, we will see you next time. I might see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to be streaming at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm doing
the
a whole
exact opposite.
Exactly, yeah, morning and night thing. Because I got some messages, by the way, from our British audience friends and some from Australia, that it's a more accessible time for them, and I have the time to do it right now. So let's do it.
Proud of you, Mike.
Thank you. Anyway,
I never cared about that side of the world. I love you guys, but
bye.
I never.
No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna